Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Circle of Love and Light. My name is Jane Mountrose and I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts Gretchen and Loola Mora. We're all healers, and as such, we're always interested in exploring ways that we can experience miraculous healings, both for ourselves and for our clients and students and for everyone. We'd like to see that being possible for everyone. So today, with that in mind, we're going to do a special circle featuring a live angelic tarot reading on how we can have more miraculous healings with angels and oracles. It's a wonderful way to start the day for light workers, spiritual healers, way showers, anyone who's interested in spiritual growth, angels, and all those things. So welcome again. We're here right now on on Enlightened World Network on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Enlightened World Network, where you can find us live at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time on every Sunday. You can also watch the circle anytime after that at facebook.com/Awakening Circle, which is the Facebook page for the Awakenings Circle of Love and Light. Today, we're going to start with a discussion. We'll have the tarot reading, and we'll have a healing, a group healing. We have no idea where this is going to take us, but we're going to have a wonderful healing. And then in the end, we're going to send all of the collective love and light that we gather in our time together out to the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this takes us. It's always interesting when you do a reading. Anyhow, just before I start the discussion, I wanted to mention two things first. First, I wanted to thank anyone who comes for joining us, because we're all here to help to bring more love and light to the world, and your contribution is really valued. If you have any comments, also please feel free to comment, put them in the comment box in Facebook, because we love to hear from you, and whenever we can respond if you have any questions. The second thing I'd like to do is center ourselves a little bit into this space, in this space together, so we can just be present to this experience, which will be special. I know it always is somehow. So we can start, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, just close your eyes for a moment and shift your focus from your head, where all the thoughts are, into your body, and to breathing in beautiful light and love. We can invite all of those beings of light who are around us, our angels and guides and masters who are joining us, to fill our space with love and light. So as we breathe, we're breathing it with every breath. And just bring it right into our body, into all the cells. The cells love love, they love light. I can already feel them tingling, which I love myself, actually. Okay, so just feeling grounded in your chair in the moment. And as we open our eyes, we can we can rejoin with our presence. So again, welcome. And I want to especially welcome my co-hosts, Gretchen and Loola, and ask you both, I guess we can start with Gretchen, why healing is important to all of us at this time of the Great Awakening.
Thank you, Jane. Yes. So yeah, I think it's becoming a more common theme, the healing work that people are doing. A lot of people are kind of waking to the necessity to spend time with themselves and transform and transmute energies that they no longer need. And I think what most people are finding is once they do a little bit of that work, they're having amazing results. There are a lot of changes that kind of have a domino effect out into the world and into their lives. And so the more that we can transform that energy, that we don't need those lower vibrations, the fear, the lack of confidence, the low self-esteem, feeling unworthy, things like that, we're able to let more light into our being. And essentially, we're on a more healing journey by doing that, by consciously and intentionally doing that. So I feel like it's really important for people to feel okay doing this kind of work and feeling that they are loved by the universe, because that is also going to have a ripple effect where we are feeling it as a collective as well. And kind of the old saying, you know, when you heal, the world heals. And it's so true.
Right.
You know, we really do have that impact. And we all have that impact. You know, as we've said a lot of times in this circle of love and light, you know, these things are accessible to everyone. And so it's important to use them as tools and as gifts that we have to transmute this energy that we no longer need.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So important. How about you, Loola? Any thoughts? No.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm really like in line with Gretchen too. And I think like there's like maybe misunderstanding about healing. You know, I know that it's sometimes challenging because it's like facing yourself, you know, it's like going and face your wounds and face what you like are getting aware of yourself, you know, because it's like in layers and it's a process. It's not something that happens like when you go to the doctor, that sometimes he gives you some medicine and in a week you are not longer with that symptom anymore. But we go to the root actually in healing, and it's like accessing to our own power, you know, and we get disconnected. So first of all is like tap into that truth that we are, you know. So
Right.
it's really needed because is actually what we need to do, but we were not taught to do that, you know.
Right.
We didn't learn
Right.
that. So
Well, and
that's the first
we think
thing.
somehow when we're doing those kinds of things that we might uncover something undesirable, but actually what happens is we uncover more of our greatness, and we bring back more of ourselves to where we are now in the present moment, because we have just bits of ourselves scattered all over the place that aren't unified.
Exactly. So when we are doing that part of like focusing on ourselves and understanding and loving ourselves, you know, that will bring us in a higher vibration, as Gretchen said. So we are in that vibe that is gonna help us, but actually is gonna help people around us, and is gonna help the world, you know, because we are doing our part of being in love. Because when we access to the healing energy that is love, actually, because spirit and soul is love.
Right.
So we are tapping to that truth that is there for us. So it's the practice. So healing is something that has different layers and in different like stages of our life. We are on that, actually. Letting go, grieving, that's healing too. Crying is healing, you know?
Right. It's repressing that is not healing.
Exactly.
And it's funny, sometimes I'll mention to people, they'll say like, I'm really stressed, and I'll say, well, gee, you know, we could do a process for that. And they'll say, well, it's not bad, I can handle it, you know, it's not that bad. It's kind of like, you know, here I am, I'm just going to hold on to this. And it's like, well, why would you want to do that?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really good point too, because we don't have to wait. There's never any need to wait to let go of something we no longer need. You know, we don't need a formal ceremony. We don't need to, you know, set aside a whole day for that kind of thing. It's something that can actually happen very quickly and organically. We can just come to the table as who we are and work with that. And so we just don't ever need to wait, you know.
Right. Yeah.
We don't need to wait. So
yeah. Well,
exactly.
and I think if we open to miraculous healings, then it's kind of like, And I think it to me, it stimulates the inner child too, kind of the magical child, the idea of miraculous healings. And so with that, what I wanted to do today, or want to do today, is I'm going to do a reading from the Inner Child Tarot, which actually draws on the stories that we learn as children. And for me, makes a lot more sense than some of the more esoteric kinds of things that it's kind of like, what are you talking about? It's going to take me years to learn all of this. Well, I already know, I know who Peter Pan is and Cinderella. So we start with an intention, which is exploring ways that we can experience miraculous healings. And we want to be in a place of openness to the divine for whatever's going to unfold. I have my selenite crystal here. I have it in my hand as I'm shuffling. I won't be able to continue to hold it, but this is a very angelic and kind of miraculous stone. If you want to invite miracles and miraculous healings in, it can really help. It does help to clear negative energy too. It's really one of the most amazing things, I think. I just love it. So we're going to start with a card for an overview of our inquiry from the major arcana of the card. So what we have here, interesting, is it's number 9 in the major arcana, which is in this deck, it's Snow White, so you can see some dwarfs there. It is fun because you think, oh, I know Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There is also a guidebook, so we can ask the guidebook about it. Get some insights from there. Here she is, Snow White. And this is interesting because the fairy tales also are archetypal, which the major cards of the tarot are archetypal. In other words, they're energies that we have, there's a common understanding of them. It's not conscious in most of us, but it is there. So it says, hidden within the fairy tale Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a major lesson concerning service to humanity and utilization of wise discrimination. So it goes through the story when Snow White was born, her mother pricked herself with a needle, and there was a curse on her, so that when, let's see, Snow White at 7 years old is alone in the forest seeking shelter and protection. She's this symbolic wisdom. She's on a symbolic wisdom pilgrimage. Finds a small cottage with 7 beds and 7 bowls with the 7 dwarfs. And it says, traditionally, this card in the major arcana is known as the hermit and is often portrayed as a wise old man or woman. Through the pilgrimage and odyssey, the aspects of the soul life and personality are fused and integrated. Living in an isolated or separate state will not bring happiness and contentment. That kind of starts to bring up the need for healing. The active work we are called to do in life is only partially physical, emotional, and mental. There is also our soul work, our service to humanity, and the opportunity and challenge to be a light to the world. Interesting. When this card appears in your reading, you may be at a critical point in your journey towards enlightenment. Reflect on your recent travel, studies, and interpersonal experiences. Be discriminating in your choice of business associates and personal companions. Let your earthly life mirror your soul's longing to be of service to humanity. Banish those aspects of yourself that are petty, vindictive, and harmful to others. Allow your words, heartfelt love, and understanding to form an inner radiant light that can heal friends, relatives, and the greater community. So it is really about opening to the soul's journey. That's the way I'm looking at it. And any thoughts from either of you, just hearing that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the seven dwarfs could also be associated with the seven chakras. So,
That's true.
right. So it's about the total healing. We're not working with
Right.
just one chakra, we'd be working with all seven. So that's an interesting symbol that seven has come up quite a bit in that card reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in my case, what I start receiving is actually I love that we're using that oracle. Like it's one of my focus of work. Inner child, and what is like bringing to me is that inviting us, to be present, because I think when we're kids, we are present because we are amazed with everything. Everything is new for us. So we are like in a soul state. We are open,
Right.
we
Yeah.
are present, we are pure love. So in that way, when we are centered, when we are in a soul state, when we really are believing in what we are, and we are in that place of love, we are able to manifest that, and like people are around us is receiving that too. So as kids, you see in a house, when there's a kid, yeah, there are challenges, of course, but there's joy. There is like, you need to be present, you need to be here, so when you are present, I think, in my opinion, you are in a, I don't want to use like healing mode, but you are connected to the source, so you are okay, you are like healed, you are present, you are loved, so that kind of the kid. And also the seven chakras that are like light, that's what I'm getting, light. See things from that part of like surprise. That's what is bringing to me. That is a very high vibration state, and that we need, actually, now that things are going and starting to have a new rhythm after the pandemic. I think there's a lot of things that are actually needing to be observed and transformed to, in my opinion. So this card is bringing me to that moment of simple, present colors that actually childhood brings to us. So I love what the message that I'm receiving from the card.
Right. And I think if you look at soul, opening to your soul is opening to the callings of your heart. I think all of us can look into our hearts and ask where we need healing to be able to open more to that. And I think one of the amazing things when you are open to healing with angels, for instance, we were actually talking a lot recently about the violet flame as a healing tool, and we can actually utilize that today. The violet flame transmutes energy. It's not like it's not an efforting kind of a thing. We can open to just asking to have any energy that is not in alignment with our soul, that is ready to clear as part of our healing today.
Yeah, I agree. I think with what Loola is saying and with what you're saying, Jane, I think from a child place, children are up for anything. So it's kind of a reminder to us to stay open. Loola was saying, be open in the present moment, but it is a good reminder to us to not only stay open for what's possible, but with that joy of anticipation, with that excitement. And that's really the outcome of using the violet flame. I feel it's such a high vibratory energy. The violet ray, which is also associated with Zadkiel, Archangel Zadkiel. And so violet has that highest frequency that can really transmute everything that you don't need. So if we can kind of view it like children, stay open to the wonderment, stay open with excitement and anticipation, then we can be up for anything. We can see what's possible, maybe something we haven't considered before.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I'm looking at associations, and I often use the Angel Wisdom Tarot because it brings in an angel. And in the Angel Wisdom Tarot, the number 9 in the major arcana is associated with Archangel Raziel, who is a lot of fun, who is actually the magician of the angelic world. And we can include him too. It says, Archangel Raziel waits for you at the top of the world. He holds a magic lantern to guide you to this place of spiritual awareness. So we can go to the top of the world together in our healing and receive all of that guidance and healing. I'm going to draw a card from the minor tarot too, and I'll stay with the inner child cards. And the minor tarot are the more immediate things that are going on. So this one is called the Six of Crystals, and it has a bunch of elves and Santa Claus in it. I have to read what this is about. Crystals are it's the earth suit. So we'll see what this is about. It has actually, they're called gnomes in this card. The 6 gnomes, which is interesting, in this card have set out together to accomplish a great goal, to reach the top of a mountain. It's interesting. One gnome has reached the summit. Actually, I thought that was Santa Claus. I thought that was Santa Claus, but actually it's one of the gnomes. That's so interesting. 7. Okay. Awaiting him is the vision of a radiant snowflake, a 6-pointed marvel of nature. The 6-pointed star or hexagram is also called the flower of Aphrodite, the Star of David, and the seal of Solomon. In Pythagorean mathematics, the number 6 is considered the only, quote, perfect number between 1 and 10. It signifies divine wisdom, harmony, equilibrium, and balance between the feminine and masculine dimensions of consciousness. When you receive the 6 of crystals, it is a sign to redouble your efforts to achieve important goals. The climb may be steep, but the rewards will be plentiful. Remember to honor the process and have faith in yourself. If your work is humble and carries a purpose beyond yourself, you may expect great fulfillment and happiness in the years to come. On an elevated level, this card depicts global service and the ideal of world harmony, symbolized by the beautiful snowflake.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. The 6-pointed star is also interesting because that's one of the central symbols of the heart chakra as well. Because it's
really?
Right.
I didn't know that.
It's the 3 points up, 3 points down. It's always a good thing to remember because the heart chakra is centered in the body. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't
as
thought
above,
of that.
so
it
below.
is, you have the 3 chakras above and 3 chakras below.
Right.
And the heart is right in the middle. And that is, to me, the heart is the spiritual bridge. That's the way I describe it. So we have our lower selves and our higher selves. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah. There's so much here.
Yeah, yes. Isn't how the 3 cards come together, like is beautiful, like for me it's clear in my case, because I think that's other thing beautiful from oracles and this kind of readings is that there's a general message, but each of us knows and receives that information in the heart, So in my case, talking about like childhood and kids and how, like the story is like it's like telling a story. So when we're kids, we can put things together and like get that magic like in action in a way. So with this last card, I received that message that those crystals are like an icon,
Mhm.
for all of us. We see
Right.
that and we think like in December or maybe in the last of the year when it's like cold, when we're with family, we think like immediately in gathering and spending time together. So I think that's the invitation of this card, you know, it's like in being in that joy, in that like love energy that will help us to be open and to learn. That actually is what we do here, you know.
Mhm.
And as adults we forget that we are like all the time learning, and when you are a kid you're okay with that. So
Mhm.
if things are not how you planned it, it's okay.
Mhm.
And we lost that part when we are adults, you know. And I love that these messages are bringing me to that like simple, as I already said, and like amazed state and joyful state to be ourselves, because being ourselves is how we are gonna bring something to the world, you know.
Mhm. Right.
And
Right.
when we're adults, in my opinion, it's easy to get disconnected and to try to be someone that we are not, because
Right.
we're exposed to a lot of information and advertising, and we lose track of ourselves. And
Mhm.
when we're kids, we are so focused on learning and playing that we don't have time to think about that things, you know. So I love how all the three cards in I receive it, you know, I get a lot of inspiration from the cards.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that anything that is inviting us to open our hearts and let go of, and a lot of times it's letting go of really unnecessary baggage. And that might be a way we can look at it when we go into the healing, is the things that are holding us down in themselves. They believe that they serve a purpose, but actually a lot of it is just unnecessary baggage that weighs us down and prevents us from getting to the mountaintop.
So right.
Right.
So right.
Right. I think it's interesting too, because you said that the first card you chose with the seven dwarves was actually associated with the hermit card. And then I believe you said something about, you know, the gist of it was that we don't need to do it alone. You know, we're not going to have probably as much soul growth if we try to do these things alone. And it's just a good reminder that we have support. We have so many resources, not only physical in our human world, but we also have wonderful archangels and light beings and spirit guides and animal guides and whatever people choose to work with. We just need to call on them. We just need to invite them in so that we can do things like using the violet flame to transmute. And so we have those resources all around us, and that everyone needs support. It's actually part of the human experience, you know, to be with other people. We were never intended to be solo creatures, you know. So it's just a good reminder that we have all these resources, and nothing is insignificant or too small to ask for help. Everything can be transmuted that we no longer need, and that actually opens us up more to the light of spirit and the light of God and to our source, you know, by making us literally lighter, you know, because we're free of all this baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do we feel ready for the meditation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did want to mention the six of earth, which in the angel wisdom cards, the crystals are, that's the suit that's called earth. Um, the the angel that's associated with that is Archangel Jeremiah, who helps you find your best path, which is really the one that is most loving, most joyful, most soulful. So we can also invite him in. And part, I think, of what we're doing here in the circle too is introducing those who are new to all of this to different angels, because the angels offer miraculous gifts, really divine gifts to us that are available anytime. So we're just going to be here now in this place together to receive. And when we do that together, knowing we're not alone, but also in a group setting, then we are drawing on the power of all of our mutual intention. And it is now to have a miraculous healing. And we can just see what that is for each of us. So we can start as we usually do to close our eyes again. Again, shifting our focus from all of the thoughts that tend to run through our heads into our breathing in our bodies. Breathing in all that beautiful energy and light that's here for us. And we're going to prepare to take a journey. Archangel Raziel invites us to rise ourselves up to the top of the world. So we just breathe in lighter energy. Might feel like you're on the top of the world or on the top of that mountain. And just breathe in that beautiful, beautiful light, knowing we're supported by Archangel Raziel and many, many others. Archangel Metatron is always with us when we're interested in uplifting humanity. And Archangel Metatron is one of the angels, is the angel actually who's considered, Archangel, who's considered to be closest to God. He resides on the top of the tree of life. And we can just ask first to have Metatron bless us with some of his divine light, which will help us to open more for this healing. His light is often perceived as a luminescent, kind of a golden white light. Might seem like pearls or diamonds. We can just ask him to send us a cascade of this beautiful light from above, feeling it all around us and within our bodies, and feeling his presence and love. It's interesting with the archangels too, they can be present to each of us personally, even knowing that perhaps thousands of people around the world are drawing on their light. But that's okay. They are still here for each of us personally. So Metatron is here for you. You might also sense his presence or see his wings surrounding you and embracing you. Whatever you perceive is fine. It's your own experience. And in this place of being open to the divine, we want to ask for the opportunity to release any of that baggage that we don't need. We carry old fears, old anger, old, just old stuff that we don't need anymore. And we were talking about Archangel Zadkiel and the violet flame. The violet flame is also associated with the Ascended Master Saint Germain. And we can invite them both to be with us and ask them to bless us with this amazingly transmutive violet light in whatever way it feels good for you. Some people feel good with a flame around them. I like a sparkling violet light with those sparks of the divine, just opening things and clearing things. You might have something specific that a specific fear you want to clear, or something that is holding your energy down. Or you can just ask for it to be general, to open more to the love and the light that is you. And just feel that beautiful violet light within you and around you. And we can bring in some of Raziel's rainbow light too. Raziel is associated with rainbow light. And I imagine it as sparkles of all the colors of the rainbow. So we can have those little sparkles of all the colors of the rainbow intertwined with the violet light, making it extra special. The magic. Raziel brings magic and very, very much joy. And the violet flame this is something you can call on Archangel Zadkiel or Saint Germain or both anytime, asking them to help you to clear a fear, a frustration, anything that might be holding you down, a doubt of yourself, confusion about your purpose. And just sit in that energy, feeling it all around you, allowing it to penetrate all of the layers of your energy field and all of the 7 chakras we were talking about, all of the 7 chakras. There's the heart at the center of your being, the 3 chakras above and 3 below. Just invite that flame to clear all of those chakras. Wherever it's needed, you might sense more energy in one area than another. And just allow that to be guided by the divine. And give yourself, this is a space for you. There seems that for many of us, there's very little time that is just for you. This is one of those times. You're here with supportive people, and you're also here with a whole host of angels. And I sense there are a lot more than just the ones we've mentioned who are supporting us in this process of releasing. I was surprised when I first started doing this that to find that as that whatever was holding me down was released, it was replaced by joy, that I would start feeling lighter and more joyful. And of course, Raziel brings that too, so we get a double dose of that. And as we open to that joy, I'd like to invite in Archangel Jeremiah or Jeremiel. There are different pronunciations for a lot of these angels. Archangel Jeremiel actually is here to help us to find our direction on our soul's path. So you can feel into your heart that you're on a journey. Your heart is on a journey. Your soul is on a journey. And Jeremiel is here with us. Interestingly, Jeremiel's, the color associated with him is also a purple, kind of a violet. And it's like more like an amethyst crystal. So you can imagine also sending in some of those colors of an amethyst crystal, the different, all the shades of lilac, all the way down to white. And then at the points of those crystals, there's sparkles. So white sparkles. And just see yourself on your soul's path, opening your heart to the best life for you now. And opening to a bright future that is before you. Jeremiel can help you, can guide you on taking your next steps. And really all we need is to take our next steps. All we can do is take our next steps. So you're here with Jeremiel and Raziel. I've seen Raziel on my path with that lantern walking beside me. He's there to guide us too. And we can open from this place to the brightest future that's available to us, which is being completely in harmony with the soul's journey, letting go of all of those things that are holding us back. And each day we can take another step forward. So I want to thank all of these angels. We had Metatron, Raziel, the magician. So if you're looking for magic, he's wonderful to invite in just to feel the rainbows and magic. And then we had Zadkiel, Archangel Zadkiel with the violet flame, along with Saint Germain. and Jeremiah, who is here always ready to help to guide us on our soul's path. And we're going to come back now to our normal waking states to have a conversation about this. And we can also stay in this higher state, a state of feeling ourselves on our soul's path. So we can breathe in now more active energy and feeling ourselves grounded. And then just whenever you're ready, open your eyes. So would either of you like to share?
Yes, I can. Oh my God, I'm cleaning some tears. I think was a mix of emotions here for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was a lot of joy, but I healed. I can feel the shift.
Mm-hmm.
I was a beautiful experience. Actually, thank you so much, Jane, and all their archangels and like guides and Gretchen. The energy was beautiful. I was like needing some guidance about my relationship with food and with my body, and was beautiful, the process. I first felt how Metatron like hugged me with his like energy, like it's okay. He was the first one who like helped me, was there only holding me and telling me it's okay. And then I was able to be my inner child, and then all the light and sparkles start coming. It was beautiful. So I in a way start like feeling the presence of the other ones, and the violet flame, and then I transform in an unicorn, with all my colors. And actually I was able to see, when you see an unicorn or horse, you can see how round the belly is, so I was able to see that belly and to feel okay with my body, and how I transformed that in magic, and how I was surrounded with colors. And then you invite I forget the name right now, but you
Jeremiah?
were, yes, talking about the rainbows, and
Raziel.
Raziel.
Raziel is the magician of the
Yes,
archangels.
exactly. So I was starting to feel all the magic, and I was like feeling really proud of myself being that unicorn, and like shining, and flying, and like jumping in the clouds and feeling okay with me, feeling good and lighter, and I start receiving all the messages about like that is okay, that is part of my path, like heal that, and a lot of joy. I was able to enjoy that state, and to feel supported. It was more like an invitation as a kid to enjoy that moment and to feel powerful and to feel the light and the sparkles.
Wonderful.
And yeah, actually was really clear and simple. And I think everything we talked about in the cards and all the information was put in there for me. So
Wonderful.
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Sounds beautiful. I can see that somehow the unicorn with you. That was beautiful. Gretchen, any insights from you?
Sure. I actually saw Metatron at the top of the world tree. I went up to the mountaintop, and he was literally sitting in the top of the tree, this ginormous tree. And it's interesting, a lot of times when I visualize angels, they're often wingless. They don't have wings. It's like there must be some part of my consciousness that kind of makes them more into a human form for me to understand them. But when you said visualize Metatron, he's wrapping his wings around you, I felt that much like Loola was saying, I felt like he was just embracing me and kind of holding me like a child inside his wings. And when I looked up at him, I'm, kind of reclined like I was a child in his arms. I looked up and I realized it was a big owl. And then he kind of opens his wings and I look up and I see Raziel with this giant lantern that is shooting rainbow light out of the top of it. And it was like Metatron opened his wings so I could look up and see this, but it was beautiful. And then I felt Zadkiel's purple flame, or the violet flame, all around me. And it was like this beautiful violet colored flame. I was sitting in a circle of it and I felt like they were all there. And it like Loola said, it was very simple, and a very clean kind of connection. And I felt these pieces of me kind of floating away like paper in a breeze. It was just like the violet flame was transmuting things that were kind of floating away from me like little bits of paper on the wind. And so it was very powerful, but very simple. Just a beautiful experience. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Right. And that is the thing about the violet flame, is it's alchemical. It's like turning lead to gold. And I've talked a bit about the idea of transmuting energy versus having transformational processes, which are more, I think there's more of a brain involved. Transmuting energy is just happening. It just happens. It doesn't require us to to think about anything, or we might see things and it might bring insights. It doesn't mean there's nothing here at all, but it doesn't require anything from us to transmute, which is beautiful. And it is magical.
Yes. Yes.
And miraculous. I mean, how could that possibly happen?
Right. It was lovely.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Then I thought we might want to, I usually draw a third card. I wondered if either of you, I know you both have decks you like, I don't know if you have your oracles with you, if one of you would like to draw a third card. I usually look at it as the action plan, or kind of the completion of the process. And either
Sure.
of you want to draw one?
I'd be happy to. Yes, I've got my I've got
Yeah,
the Lightworker Oracle.
I got that
Just
too, just so
what
I
I
would
have
have
here.
it. See what we get. This one has a beautiful image on the front here.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Ooh, I got number 13, which is trust in the plan.
Wow. What do you know?
Let's see. So it speaks to how, in preparation for radical growth, there can be temporary disorder and chaos. And while our minds may worry that something is going wrong, Spirit knows that this is the way for the old to disassemble so the new can be formed. And so it says, do not fear. You may see the life that you have known appears to be ending. And that's the way it always is with change. You may find that the things you used to do, or the way you used to think or do, are no longer seeming as relevant as they once were. And so even though your energy is meant to be withdrawing from what it once supported, this is not an abandonment or betrayal. It is not selfish. It is honest. So there's that truth we were talking about before.
Right, following your heart. To follow your heart,
right,
you have to go against a lot of times what other people think you should be doing.
Right. So when you trust in your spiritual growth, all that happens is love. And that means that even an apparent loss always serves love, whether that is immediately obvious or not. And most of the time, these things are not super obvious to us in the moment. You know, we might be caught up in the emotional aspect of it. So life is a loving, creative journey for your soul. That means there will be times when the very thing you have worked towards needs to crumble so that the next evolution of your soul manifestation upon the earth can take place. It is natural. And although it can be challenging, Trust in the greater creative process during times when it seems as though there is only chaos and confusion. You are strong enough spiritually to do so. That is a beautiful statement.
Mhm.
To feel peace at such times, you must trust in your own inner knowing over what appears to be.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So it winds down saying, have faith and stay true to your spiritual principles. Trust in an unfolding higher plan. Know that all things in your life serve your higher good. The universe knows what you need and is in the process of delivering it to you now. All is happening for a greater purpose. You can flow with the changes in loving trust. Your perfect time for resurrection will follow this deconstruction, and it will occur in the perfect way.
Wow.
That's lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
And I love that these
It's
cards,
amazing when
yeah,
we're talking about life plan, and here it is, trust in the
right.
plan.
So I love that each of these cards also has an invocation or a little prayer at the bottom. I think that's lovely. It's a great way to kind of ground out the energy of the card as well. So.
Mhm. Yeah, I like this. It says, I call upon the loving genius of divine order that is manifesting itself in my life now. Beautiful.
Wow. It takes time to
Absolutely.
integrate, that I was like actually seeing, in my experience, like trusting, and because I grew up learning to do and do and do, and if
Right.
you want something, do work for it. And I think that's my challenge, when I'm in chaos, that actually I think almost all the times what I need to do is like to chill, accept, and to live, instead of do something and create a plan and look for a strategy. But it's challenging because I'm so used to need to do something, that accepting that and getting in that state of power and believing that things are gonna move, and that I need to exist, and that's it, is really challenging way, because when you are in chaos, your mind is being triggered easily. So it's like more as a challenge, to integrate that information, to say, okay, it's because things are moving for my best, and I need to flow, because everything's gonna be okay, and not do so much, and enjoying being present. Okay, I have been practicing with a lot of tools and practices almost like 12 years, and I'm still here learning. I do the
Well, it
change
continues.
faster. But what
You
I'm
know?
trying to say here is that we need those reminders. It's like, you want to know the plan? Relax. It's like,
And trust.
and trust,
Right.
and trust. And yeah.
That's when
I
we're
was
not
like,
taught to trust in the divine.
exactly.
Well, it's
You need to do something.
Right, do
It's-
something.
it's beautiful that you say that, because this little invocation goes on to say, thank you for always guiding me onto my truest and most joyful path. I ask through unconditional love for assistance, insight, and support to help me trust in the plan of love unfolding in my life. That's
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
think I'm
really beautiful.
listening.
Yeah.
That's a good step.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful takeaway for today. Be open like children in the wonderment and anticipation and excitement and joy, and trust that it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. We didn't know at all where it was going, but that was so amazing. I love that you mentioned that too about the snowflake. I'll remember that.
Yes. Yes. That's beautiful.
Solid chakra.
Yeah. It's also the 3 points up, 3 points down star also means as above, so below. So it really is about that balance point as
Mhm.
well. So yeah, love that. And that's what the heart's all about. It's about balancing. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's right in that place.
In the
right in
center.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's any more we can possibly say.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yes,
Yeah.
it seemed right, completely accurate and right where we all need to, what we need to hear today. So I'm sure that helps
Mhm.
a lot of people today.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
now for people who are new to the angels, you have some new angels to to join you on your journey. And
Yes.
they're always there, and they are love. So you can trust that if nothing else, you're going to get a lot of love, but there's so much more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and there are miracles there. So with that, I want to ask, Gretchen, how can people find out more about you? And I know you and Loola actually, I think, aren't you doing a course together now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can both just tell us everything.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate that. So if people want to connect with me, they can find me on spiraljourney.net. That's my website. You can also find me on Facebook at Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services. I'm also on YouTube as Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services. And in a couple of weeks, Loola and I are going to be doing a 3-hour workshop on Saturday, May 21st, part of our spiritual reset series. And this first workshop is about healing and healing energy.
Oh.
And so we're very excited.
The angels will be there, I bet.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, Loola, would you like to say more about it?
Yes, thank you, Gretchen. Okay, I'm actually really excited because it has been a beautiful process too, like to put this all together with the desire, to bring value to people that will join us that day. And we are gonna have some amazing tools, through that workshop. So we're gonna have some breathing exercises that will center us and help us to be open and to land that day. Then we're gonna have an amazing the core process that we're gonna use for that healing, bringing any issue that someone has. It could be physical, mental, emotional. So we are having that dynamic there, and we are gonna talk about positive affirmations and how they are like a great tool for our days. We're gonna have also crystal balls and mantra. So with all that tools, we're gonna be in a very beautiful, I think, transition, because we are gonna feel that from the first to the end of the workshop, and also the magic, that is gonna happen between all the energy and the people that will be there. So I think that's about the course. And if people want to contact with me or to get connected with me, they can find me in my webpage, that is Loola with double O, Loola, Mora, Mora.com. And they can find me in Instagram, in Facebook, and also in YouTube, that I have a channel for wellness and transformation. It's in Spanish. So, but also there's a tool that you can put some closed captions. So I think I have been looking at it and works. So if you are not a Spanish speaker, you also can join the practices and the meditations. And yeah, you can find me in those social media, the same, Loola with double U. And yeah, I would love to connect with you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Jane.
Yes, of course. And for Awakenings Institute, my husband Philip and I, right now we have a course that is just being offered on. It's called Abundant Living with Angels, Oracles, EFT, which is a healing technique, and more. So if you want to learn more about how you can connect with angels, use oracles like the tarot, etc., it's an opportunity for you. And you can learn more about it. I'm going to give you a tiny URL because our website, it's big and the URLs are long. So it's tinyurl.com/abundant-living. And we'd love to have you join us if that appeals to you. You can also find out more about the circle at circleofloveandlight.org. And of course, you can find us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/awakeningscircle. And please follow the page and like us. We appreciate it. I also wanted to mention there are a few things you can do to support the circle. One, of course, is liking our page or following the page. Another one is if you enjoyed this video and you're on Facebook, share it with your friends. And so more people can join in. And you can also invite your friends to join you in the circle so that you have someone to share insights and experiences with. So thank you again for joining us. We want to send all of that love and light that is here present out into the week ahead, just filling it with love and light. And we can have some of those rainbow, sparkling rainbows or whatever you want to send from the meditation, and just have a wonderful week. So bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.